From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
Joe McNabb, Northeast Indemnity, Johnny.
Oh, hi, Joe. What's up?
At the moment, my blood pressure.
Too much work?
No. Prospect of having to pay off on a $100,000 life insurance policy.
Uh-oh.
Fella I think you know, Johnny. Art Wesley.
Oh, sure. Been a pal of mine for years. Reporter.
Yeah. Apparently he's working on a story right now that somebody doesn't want him to report.
What do you mean?
Night before last, he got beat up in an alley. Yesterday, a car made a pass at him at high speed.
What about today?
It's early yet, Johnny.
Oh, yeah, sure. But let's hope it's not too late.
Bob Bailey in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. From Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Home Office, Northeast Indemnity Affiliates, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Big Scoop matter. Expense account item 1, $18.40, transportation and incidentals to New York City. I called Art Wesley's paper. He wasn't in, and nobody seemed to know where he was. Then I remembered a small bar called Tony's over on 3rd Avenue. I took a cab, that's item 2, $1.25, and found him in a corner booth.
Sorry, Johnny, no bodyguard. The informants I'm working with will take off fast if they spotted one. No informants, no story.
That insurance policy your paper took out on you, who's the beneficiary?
A dear departed wife, Joan.
Departed? I
We
thought...
split up a couple of months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Art.
We were living in two different worlds. I wanted a home and family. She wanted a trip to the moon every night.
Where is she now?
Who knows? On her way to the moon, I guess.
Hey, look, this story you're working on, Art.
It's hot, Johnny. And big, real big. A national gambling syndicate, and run by a guy right here in New York.
Who?
I'm getting close, but I'm not sure yet. When I am, then out come my articles.
What's this guy gonna do when you push him into a corner? Look, I'm worried about you.
You look, Johnny, I'm not as foolish as you think. I've got his name written down and put in a safe deposit box with what evidence I got. That's my real insurance.
Oh, Art, look, we've been friends a long time. I'm not gonna let you do this alone.
Sorry, Johnny. I've got to go it alone.
Since I'd gotten nowhere with Art, I decided to try his wife, Joan, even though they were separated. I found her in an apartment on East 68th, but she was hardly what you'd call cooperative.
Look, Mr. Dollar, so you're a friend of Art's. At the moment, I'm not.
Mrs. Wesley, your marriage with Art is none of my business. But that insurance policy his paper took out on him is. And incidentally, you're still the beneficiary.
So?
So he could be in danger, those articles he's writing.
Why doesn't he drop it?
Oh, look, you know Art better than that.
Then what am I supposed to do about it? That story is his business. How I feel about things is my business. And come to think of it, I can't see that either of those things is your business.
Item 3, $1.80 cab fare to police headquarters in the office of my old friend, Detective Lieutenant Rastelli.
Sure. I know about those attempts on Art's life. So I talked to him and got nowhere.
He told me the stories about a national gambling syndicate.
It's more than he told me.
Supposedly the big boss is here in New York. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Look, the minute Art quits thinking he's got to hit the jackpot all by himself and lets us in on it, we'll give him all the protection he... Lieutenant Rastelli. Yeah, just a minute. It's for you, Johnny.
Oh, thanks. Hello?
Art Wesley, Johnny. They told me at your hotel where to reach you.
Anything new, Art?
I'm leaving town for a few hours. This could be it, Johnny. Tonight could be the jackpot.
Well, listen, let me go with you.
Sorry, I gotta go alone. It's part of the deal.
Art, it could be a trap.
I can take care of myself. Call you when I get back. Wish me luck.
Well, look, wait. Art! Art! Item 4, $1.80 cab to Art's apartment, where I persuaded the manager to let me in. I was looking for anything that would give me a lead. Then, near the phone on a scratch pad, I found where he'd written the word Watika several times. Sure, Lake Watika, upstate. Art had a lodge there. Item 5, $25 even for a rented car. It was a 3-hour drive to Lake Watika, which was bad enough. But to top it off, it started to rain, and rain hard. When I finally got to the highway turnoff, the side road to the lake was a mass of mud. Then I got 2 quick breaks. It stopped raining, and I spotted the 6-mile road into Art's place. Half an hour further on, I saw a light. Art's car was parked at one side, and the front door of the lodge was wide open. When I got to it, I saw why. Art was lying in the doorway. Yeah, he was the one who wanted to hit the jackpot. But you can't hit the jackpot with a slug, particularly when that slug is right between your eyes. I drove to the sheriff's office and reported it. Sheriff Tompkins and his boys took over. But in the darkness and the mud, they could only make a routine check. He asked me to meet him at the lodge the next morning, so I did.
Buddy was right here in the doorway, huh, son?
Yeah, Sheriff, I didn't move it.
And Wesley probably got shot when he answered the door by somebody standing out there on the ground.
Because of that bullet hole in the roof?
Yeah. Right over that shelf that's stocked with canned goods, sugar, salt, and the like. Apparently, he used this place regular.
Yeah, he used to do some of his writing here. Were you able to determine time of death?
Coroner says between 10:30 and 11 last night. What time did you arrive?
About half an hour after the rain stopped. I'd say 11:45.
Means it was still raining a good half hour after the killing. No wonder we found no tracks.
Hey, look, Sheriff. Art was working on a hot story about a national gambling syndicate. Could be that he found out who the boss was last night, the hard way.
Oh? Then you think the killer was from out of town? Maybe New York?
Yeah. Now, where would he stay? Is there a hotel around here?
Lake Watika Inn, just outside the village, about 6 miles from here.
Sheriff, I'll check it out.
The guests here at the inn, Mr. Dollar? Well, we have only 2 who checked in yesterday. It's the off-season, of course.
Yeah, clerk, who are they?
Well, Mr. Cooper yesterday afternoon and Mr. Buckley around dark.
Uh-huh. They still here?
Mr. Cooper is sitting right out there on the terrace, but Mr. Buckley paid in advance and left quite early this morning.
I see. Did Buckley give any reason for stopping here?
He said he was a traveling man and didn't like to drive in the rain.
Okay. I'd like you to write down a description of him. I'll pick it up on the way out.
Oh, I'll be glad to, sir.
Hi.
Oh, good morning.
Enjoying the scenery?
Yes, immensely. Oh, sit down, won't you?
Sure, thanks. My name's Dollar.
Mine's Cooper. You just check in?
I'll just drop by.
I came yesterday.
Uh-huh. Pretty up here this time of year.
Yes, certainly is. I really enjoy places like this in the off-season. It's a nice change.
Too bad the weather hasn't been better, huh?
The rainstorm last night? Oh, I enjoyed that, too.
You were out in it?
Oh, no. No, I enjoyed it the way a storm should be enjoyed. In front of the fireplace in my cottage with a drink and a good book. No, Mr. Dollar, I stayed in last night.
And that was that. I picked up the description of the other guest, Buckley, from the clerk and gave it to Sheriff Tompkins, who got out a bulletin on him. Then I drove back to New York City, turned in my rented car, and took a cab. That's item 6, $1.70, to Joan Wesley's apartment.
Yes. They notified me this morning about Art's death. I don't know what to say. What is there to say?
Good question, Mrs. Wesley.
If only he hadn't been so stubborn. If only he'd given up that story about the gambling syndicate or whatever it was.
Yeah. You figure somebody in the syndicate killed him?
Why, of course.
Mrs. Wesley, did you know Art had gone on up to the lodge at Lake Watika?
No. Mr. Dollar, I'm rather tired.
One more thing. Did you go out last night?
No. It was raining. I stayed here in the apartment.
All evening?
All evening.
I see. Well, thanks, Mrs. Wesley. Maybe I was imagining, but it seemed to me Joan Wesley hesitated just a little before telling me she hadn't been out of her apartment last night. And if she had gone to Lake Watika, I checked the basement garage. Her car was clean. Too clean. Item 7, $5 to the garage attendant for some very interesting information. Joan Wesley had ordered her car washed first thing this morning. Why? Because the wheels were covered with mud from last night.
Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. Better schools mean better citizens, better neighbors, better families. But we can't expect our children to respond, to learn and grow, if we ourselves are indifferent to their school environment. CBS Radio urges that you write to Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16, New York, for information about how citizens can spark community action to improve their schools. That address again is Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16, New York. Now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the Big Scoop Matter.
I tell you, I didn't leave this apartment last night.
Your car says differently, Joan.
Car?
You had it washed today because it was all muddy. And the reason it was muddy was because you had it out in the rain last night.
Look,
Another thing. You told me you didn't know Art had gone to the lodge. You hadn't heard from him. But the switchboard operator told me you had a call from him yesterday. Now, why else would he call you except to tell you where he was going? Well, how about it, Joan?
All right. Art did call me yesterday and told me he was going to Lake Watika.
And how about last night?
Yes. I went out, but not to Lake Watika.
Art wouldn't give you a divorce. By killing him, you get your freedom and $100,000.
I didn't kill Art. I didn't go up there last night.
And where did you go?
Might as well know. The reason I wanted a divorce from Art was because I'd found someone else.
Oh?
That's where I went for a few minutes last evening.
Why did you lie about the phone call from Art yesterday?
I don't know. I was confused. I was afraid it would look bad for me if it came out that I knew Art had gone up there.
It doesn't look good for you this way, believe me.
Oh, Johnny, I'm telling the truth.
Who is this fella you're interested in?
I don't see why he
Who
has
is
to-
he?
His name is Ted Nash. Will you have to talk to him?
I sure will. And right now. But I was wrong about talking to Ted Nash right now. I called his apartment and got no answer. Item 9, $1.60 cab fare to police headquarters in the office of Detective Lieutenant Rastelli.
You figure this guy Nash and Joan Wesley could have killed Art and used the gambling syndicate threat as a cover, huh?
It's a possibility, Lieutenant.
Well, I'll see what I can find out about Nash. How'd you do at Lake Watika?
2 guests checked in the day of the killing. One, a man named Buckley. He left early this morning. Sheriff Tompkins has a bulletin out on him.
Who else?
A fellow named Cooper, who apparently likes to go places in the off-season. Nothing to tie him in particularly.
Cooper, huh? We had a rumble some time ago that a guy named Cooper was involved in that gambling syndicate.
What?
Trouble is, we got no proof.
Hey, wait a minute.
What's the matter?
Art told me he'd put the name of the man he was after in a safe deposit box. If we could find the key to that box.
How about Art's apartment?
Let's take a look. So we looked, and we found the key tucked away in a desk, but only a number on it. Nothing to tell where it was located. I gave it to Lieutenant Rastelli, and he promised to check every bank in town if necessary. While I went on back to Lake Watika to see if the man named Cooper at the inn was the same one Rastelli told me about. When I got there, after a frantic 3-hour drive, I found him comfortably sitting by the fireplace.
Well, Mr. Dollar, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Cooper, I want to get right to the point. You told me you came up here to enjoy the scenery.
Yes, that's right. Why?
The man who was killed last night, Art Wesley, he was trying to expose a national gambling syndicate.
Oh, that's very interesting. So?
So, I know a police detective in New York who thinks you're a member of that syndicate.
Well, now, Mr. Dollar, that's a very serious charge. I presume you have proof. Well? No proof. Well, in that case, I don't think there's any...
Dollar, the long-distance call for you. You can take it on that phone right beside you.
Thanks, clerk. Johnny Dollar.
Rastelli in New York, Johnny.
Hi, Lieutenant. You locate that?
Yeah, the safe deposit box, and in it we found the name of the man Art Wesley was closing in on. It's Cooper.
Thanks
all
very
right,
much.
So you...
Well, Cooper, You wanted proof? We've got it. Evidence that ties you in with the syndicate. Clerk.
Oh, now, this is ridiculous,
Is it?
Dollar.
Let me tell you the facts about this thing.
Is something the matter, Mr. Dollar?
Get Sheriff Tompkins on the phone, clerk. Tell him I've got Art Wesley's killer here.
You mean Mr. Cooper?
Oh, now, wait a minute. Now, look, Dollar. If you'd get your facts straight, you'd drop this silly notion of yours.
What kind of facts, Cooper?
What time was Wesley killed?
Between 10:30 and 11 last night.
But, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Wesley's place is some 6 miles from here.
That's right. Why?
Well, then Mr. Cooper couldn't have killed him.
What do you mean?
Last night, I took a drink to Mr. Cooper's cottage here at the inn.
What time?
Around 20 to 11, and I chatted with him for at least 15 minutes.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, quite sure.
Well, Mr. Dollar, I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Cooper strolled back to the bar with a satisfied smirk on his face. So the one man who had to be Art's killer couldn't have killed him. I collared the clerk again and had him repeat his story in detail.
If you recall, it rained heavily last night, Mr. Dollar.
Yes, I drove through it on my way up here.
Well, I was making the rounds of the inn, checking windows, things like that, when the house phone rang. It was Mr. Cooper calling from his cottage. He wanted a drink.
You say that was at 20 to 11?
Yes, I always jot down the time when I am called away from the desk.
All right, go on.
Well, when I got to Mr. Cooper's cottage, he was sitting in the living room in front of the fire with a book.
Yeah.
We chatted a while, and then when I returned here to the desk, I jotted down the time again. 10:55.
Well, that does it.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's a good 20-minute drive from here to Art Wesley's lodge. If he was killed between 10:30 and 11 and Cooper was here at that time, he couldn't have done it.
Well, I'm sorry, but facts are facts. And... Oh, excuse me. Lake Watika Inn. Yes, just a moment. Sheriff Tompkins, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, thanks. Hi, Sheriff.
Thought you ought to know, son. Remember that man Buckley we were looking for?
Yeah, sure, the other guest at the inn.
Yeah, we picked him up. I've been questioning him for an hour.
Any luck?
No, sir. He's just a traveling salesman who stayed at the inn because he didn't want to drive in the rain.
You sure?
Buckley swears he doesn't even know Cooper. Just between you and me, Johnny, I think we got the wrong fella.
No place again. I decided to start all over. Got into my car and drove to Art Wesley's place. Nothing was changed. I remember the trip I'd made the night he was killed, how it rained heavily until about half an hour before I arrived. How I'd found him lying in the open doorway, a bullet hole in his head. Yeah, and the hole in the ceiling over the shelf of provisions, marking the path of the bullet. It was there. So were the provisions. Canned food, mustard, sugar, a package of crackers. There was some... Wait a minute. Sugar. The sugar bowl. I stared at it for a moment. I remembered a couple of things the room clerk at the inn had told me. And suddenly the whole deal slid neatly and quietly into place. I drove back to the inn fast. Cooper's cottage was empty, so I went inside to the bedroom and took a look around. Then I spotted one of the pictures on the wall, a little out of place. I looked behind it. Yeah, just what I expected. Outside, I found Cooper sitting on the terrace in front of the main building. I slid into a chair across from him.
Well, Mr. Dollar, what fantastic crime are you going to accuse me of today?
Cooper, I got a one-track mind, and it's still stuck on murder.
Oh, now look, Dollar. We've been over this before, and personally, I find it quite boring. So much so that it's interfering with my vacation here.
That's too bad.
Yes, it is. So I'm leaving this evening.
I don't think so, Cooper.
Oh, come now.
Art Wesley was trying to expose a figure in a gambling syndicate. You.
Well, that's a matter of conjecture.
You had to stop him, for keeps.
Oh, now look, Dollar. The time of Art Wesley's death has been established as between 10:30 and 11 last night.
That's right, between 10:30 and 11 last night.
And I'm sure you remember the room clerk telling you he was with me in my cottage living room from 10:40 to 10:55.
I sure do.
So that I certainly couldn't have killed your friend Wesley 6 miles from here during that time.
Except that Art Wesley wasn't killed at his lodge.
What are you talking about?
You see, I remembered something else the clerk had told me. The night of the killing, it stopped raining a little after 11.
All right, what difference does that make?
All the difference in the world, believe me. Here's what really happened, Cooper. You killed Art Wesley in the bedroom of your cottage here at the inn.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You immediately called the room clerk over and chatted with him in your living room for about 15 minutes. He didn't know there was a corpse in the next room.
Oh, really?
After he left, you took Wesley's body the 6 miles to his place and planted it in the doorway.
Oh, now, look, Dollar...
Your problem was to make it look like he'd been killed there. Then you remembered. The slug that had killed him hit the wall in your bedroom. That gave you an idea. You figured out the right angle at the lodge and fired a shot upwards from the outside the door. It went through the ceiling at the back.
All right, Dollar, I've had enough of your half-baked theories with no proof whatsoever to back them up.
Correction, Cooper. This time I've got proof. There was a shelf of food under the bullet hole and a bowl of sugar directly under it.
A bowl of... So what?
When sugar gets wet, it gets crusty, and it stays that way. But the sugar in that bowl was dry. Now, if the killing was between 10:30 and 11, and it rained heavily until after 11, then some rain would have dropped through the bullet hole into the sugar.
I see.
But, Cooper, the sugar was dry. So the bullet hole was made after the time of the murder, when you planted Wesley's body there. Just a little detail, Cooper, but it nails you. That, and of course, the fact I found the slug that really killed Wesley just a couple of minutes ago.
Oh?
Buried in the wall of your bedroom behind a picture you'd moved slightly to cover it.
Well, Dollar, I may as well tell you that I saw you come out of my cottage a few minutes ago. I figured you knew. So ever since you sat down here, I've been holding a gun on you under the table.
You know, Cooper, I may as well tell you. Ever since I sat down here, I've been holding a gun on you, too.
Well, you...
Let's have it.
Well, you didn't have any gun.
A big-time gambler, bluffed right out of the game. Cooper, you're slipping. Item 10, $37.50. Transportation and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total $187.40. Remarks? Cooper's awaiting trial. About Art Wesley? Well, I guess that sugar bowl was a dead man's revenge. And come to think of it, that revenge was pretty sweet. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment. In days long since gone by, one had to go out in search of daring do. But in a fast-moving world, exciting things are happening right around the clock. Things you can be in on no matter what else you're doing, as long as your radio is nearby. With CBS newsmen on the job, you can make CBS Radio your listening post for world events. Stay tuned now for 5 minutes of CBS News, to be followed over most of these same stations by the FBI in peace and war. Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, colorful New Orleans, from nightlife in the Latin Quarter to the dismal, deadly swamps. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood. Written by Robert Reif, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Russell Thorson, Barney Phillips, Stacey Harris, Larry Thor, Parley Bear, and Les Tremaine. Musical supervision is by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Dan Cubberly speaking.
right.
Dreaming dreams we all do, working hard so they come true. You can get a helping hand at Kmart stores, they understand.
Kmart is your savings store, where your dollar buys you more. They give your dreams a helping hand. At Kmart stores, they understand.
Planning plans, moving up. Life is good, love in your cup. Get satisfaction even more.
At Kmart, that's your value store. Kmart is your savings store, where your dollar buys you more.
Attention shoppers, we hope you don't mind the confusion in our health and beauty aids department, but we're adding a new department to our store to make Kmart your one-stop savings center. That's right. In a short while, you will be able to have your prescription filled by your Kmart pharmacist. In the future, remember Kmart when you need a prescription. Bring your prescriptions by and have them filled while you shop. Can you believe prescriptions filled at Kmart prices? And thank you for shopping at Kmart.
There she is, that's what keeps me up at night. Oh gee whiz, that's why I can't eat a bite. Those flaming eyes, that flaming youth. Oh mister, oh sister, tell me the truth. Now ain't she sweet, see her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice? Cast an eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Tell me where, have you seen one just like that? I declare, that sure is worth looking at. Oh boy, how sweet those lips must be. Oh, gaze on it, doggone it, answer me. Ain't she sweet? See her coming down the street. I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Ain't she nice? Look her over once or twice. I ask you confidentially, ain't she nice? Just cast a little old eye in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet? Just cast an eye, why, in her direction. Oh me, oh my, ain't that perfection? I repeat, don't you think that's kind of neat? I ask you confidentially, ain't she sweet?
Well, good evening, weirdos. I am your host. I am Michael. Thank you for joining me. Before we get started this evening, I just want to say thank you to Benny Moten for the song South as our theme music. And before that, we heard Ain't She Sweet. Ain't She Sweet? That's a fantastic song by Gene Austin, one of my favorites. It is in my favorite list. We also started the show off this morning with a couple of other things. We listened to some Johnny Dollar. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. One of my favorite old-time radio shows in the Big Scoop Matter. You can find that in my old-time radio playlist, Old Time Radio Wednesdays. And we also listened to some 1973 Kmart spots, spots that were played through the loudspeakers at Kmart. We had some music. We had a Kmart introduction, a great Kmart commercial. I'll be playing for that kind of stuff for you more often. And it was a great pharmacy spot in there, bringing the pharmacy to Kmart for the very first time. That was fantastic. So that was a great little opener. Now I've got some new stuff for you here. So we're going to be playing some new music, some new old music, if you will. And right now we are going to have a cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you. From 1926.
In the movie plays of nowadays, a romance always must begin in June. Tales in magazines have all their scenes of love laid in the garden neath the moon. But I don't miss that kind of bliss. What I want is this: a cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you, a cozy corner, a table for two, a chance to whisper, cuddle and coo, with lots of hugging and kissing in you. I don't need music, lobster or wine, as long as your eyes look into mine. The things I long for are simple and true. A cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you. A cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you, a cozy corner, a table for two, a chance to whisper, cuddle and coo, with lots of hugging and kissing in you. I don't need music, hear that music play. As long as your eyes look into mine, the things I long for are simple and true. A cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you.
From 1926, Nick Lucas, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, and you.
Birdies go to sleep and the stars begin to peep. She says, what a night for spooning. When the silver moon up high, floating in a summer sky, she says, what a night for spooning. And if it starts to rain, cats and dogs, does she run away? Let it blow, let it snow, do you think she gives a good gosh darn? She just looks up at the sky, closes her two baby eyes and whispers, what a night for spooning.
land of ice and snow, up among the Eskimos, there's a college known as Ukiwawa. Wah, wah, wah. You should hear those college boys, gee, they make an awful noise when they sing their Eskimo tra-la-la. They've got a leader, big cheerleader, oh, what a guy.
He's got a frozen face just like an Eskimo pie.
When he says, come on, let's go, though it's 45 below, listen what those Eskimo all holler.
Come on, let's go.
I scream, you scream, we all scream, right, scream, rock, rock.
Oogie, wah, wah, rah, rah, rah.
Tuesday, Monday, we all scream for Sunday.
Woo. Roy Borealis, ah.
Boola, boola, Sarsaparilla, we've got some chocolate.
I'll take the noolah.
I scream, you scream, we all scream, right, scream, rock, rock. Ice cream, soda water, ginger ale, hot. Ice cream. You cream. We all
weekend is free. Be sure to take good care of yourself. You belong to me. Eat an apple every day. Get to bed by 3. Be sure to take good care of yourself. You belong to me.
Be careful crossing streets. Don't eat meat. Cut out sweets.
You'll get a pain and ruin your tum-tum. Keep away from bootleg hooch. When you're on a spree, be sure to take good care of yourself. You belong to me.
That was Button Up Your Overcoat. Before that, I Scream, You Scream, We All Scream for Ice Cream. And we started the block with What a Night for Spooning. Now these are some crazy words and a crazy tune.
There's a guy I'd like to kill. If he doesn't stop, I will. Got a ukulele and a voice that's loud and shrill. 'Cause he lives next door to me, and he keeps me up till 3 with his ukulele and a funny melody. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do, bo-do-do. Sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. His ukulele daily, how he'll strum. Bum, 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 vampin' and stampin'. Then he hollers black bottom. Crazy words, crazy tunes. He'll be driving me crazy soon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. I have begged that guy to stop. I have even called a cop. Told my dog go stick him, but the darn dog wouldn't go. But tonight will be the end. Yes, sirree, 'cause I intend to go up and kick him in the bo-do-do-de-o-do. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. He's got to stop it, stop it. Yes, he must, or I'll just kill him. I'll kill him. Then I'll do the black bottom when I'm jailed for my deed. To the jury and the judge I'll plead. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do.
1927, that is Frank Crummett. Vodo, Dodio, Do indeed. Crazy words, crazy tune. Got a feeling for
you. Crazy about your smile, free and easy style. You're a loving child, got a feeling for you. Woo, woo. Like your turned up nose, like your these and those. From your head to toes, got a feeling for you. Did you ever see somebody who could love somebody much as I love you? You're the kind of sweet somebody who could love somebody. Could you love me too? Oh my, you're the one I crave. I could be your slave. Honey, let me rave. Got a feeling for you.
There's nobody like my somebody for doing things like
1927, that was Good News from the Ben Selvin Orchestra. What a Man by Ruth Edding from 1926. And we started Got a Feeling for You from 1929 from the High Hatters Society.
Dreaming dreams we all do, working hard so they come true. So you can get a helping hand at Kmart stores, they understand.
Kmart is your savings store, where your dollar buys you more. They give your dreams a helping hand. At Kmart stores, they understand.
Planning plans, moving up. Life is good, love in your cup. Get satisfaction even more.
At Kmart, that's your value store. Kmart is your savings store, where your dollar buys you more.
Don't want any million, I'm getting my share. I've only got one suit, just one, that's all I can wear. A bundle of money won't make you feel gay. A sweet little honey is making me say, I'm sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. And I'm quitting the blues of the world. I'm singing a song, just singing a song. Glory, hallelujah, I just phoned the parson. Hey, Pa, get ready to call. Just like Humpty Dumpty, I'm going up all. I'm sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. Some people have diamonds and beautiful pearls, while others have children, just kitties with pearls. Keep all of your fortune, keep all of your fame. I just found a sweetie who's changing her name. I'm sitting on top of the world, just rolling along, just rolling along. And I'm quitting the blues of the world. I'm singing a song, just singing a song. Glory, hallelujah, I just phoned the parson. Hey, Pa, get ready to call. Just like little Humpty Dumpty, I'm going to fall. Because I'm sitting on top of the world, way on top, rolling along. I'm rolling along.
Yes, indeed, I am sitting on top of the world. And that was Sitting on Top of the World by Al Jolson from 1925. I hope you like our Kmart spot there from 1973. I want to take a moment to thank all of my subscribers. For the longest time now, I have been trying to reach the 100 subscriber count. I went to sleep this afternoon after my show and after working, and had 95 subscribers, and was just sitting on top of the world, right? And I woke up after napping for less than 2 hours, and I had gotten 5 more subscribers, and I have reached my 100 subscriber goal, right? So look forward to, tentatively, I have next week scheduled, barring any upcoming work that pops up. any important events that might happen with the family and or friends. The tentative schedule is to go live Monday morning and stay live for an undetermined amount of time until I reach a goal of 10 viewers all at once. And then I'm going to do a drawing, okay? And I'm going to do 2 drawings. I'm going to do one that contains a hat with little names of all of my friends and family and all of you that I can find the names for on YouTube. And I'm going to put them all into a hat, just a random potluck, right? And then what I'm going to do is anyone who has subscribed and is a viewer and wants to put in the chat box during my live event, drawing, just the word drawing, then you will be entered into the drawing, the second drawing. And it will be an easier drawing to win because there will be less names in that hat. It will only contain the names of the people who have typed in the word drawing, okay? Now there's no purchase necessary, absolutely no purchase necessary, all right? Scout's honor. No purchase necessary. You don't have to pay for postage. You don't have to do any of that shit. All you have to do is get with me at some point via chat or messenger or on the phone or something, and we can talk about who you are and what you like, what you like about the 70s and 80s, what you liked about the 70s and 80s, or why do you like this type of music or whatever. So I'll kind of curate a special little package just for the winners, because that is kind of my way of saying thank you. So we are going to be doing that, fingers crossed, tentatively starting Monday morning. I will stay live after my show and continue to be live until I have reached my 10 viewer limit and then hold a drawing. And then I will continue to be live until I have either reached another thing the next day, or we just say, you know what, let's just go to 20. Maybe we'll just do that. We'll just go to 20 viewers. First 10, and then 20, we'll do the type in the drawing, right? And we'll do that. So that'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait for that. So once again, thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed, my family and friends and all of you friends out there who have helped me take this up a notch. All right, and I hope to be bringing you more content that you can appreciate. Have you ever seen a straight banana? That's one of the things that have always been, pondering my mind. Are there straight bananas? I don't know. You got to tell me, huh?
Things I hide, millions I have eyed, but God blind me, I've yet to see bananas that are straight.
I have seen them by the carload on the Delaware and Lackawanna, but we've never, we've never seen a straight banana.
Every place I've been or went, the bloomin' things are always bent. Oh, tell me where I can procure a jolly straight banana.
However, I look in every place, and this can possibly be that case. There ain't no straight bananas.
There is one, you'll see it now. It's the wow. Oh, and how.
And what can this be that you have?
No, you know.
Well, can anyone tell me who that unusual voice played the character from? Anyone? Who did that guy play in the cartoons? Come on, you guys can figure that one out. Can't you? Here's another one from the High Hatters Society.
condition that is overcoming me. It's a power that I can't control. Like a great magician doing things you can't see. Love is playing with my heart and soul. Two brown eyes and two red lips are driving me mad. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I've got it bad. Every squeeze is heart disease, and just let me add. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I've got it bad. What I've got, I'm certain not a doctor can cure. What I've got is hurting, look at my temperature. Like the case that once took place with mother and dad. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, I've got it bad.
1925, the Knickerbockers and Mi Niña. Boy, oh boy, I've Got It Bad before that from 1931 and Nick Lucas. And we started off with You Got Me Picking Petals Off of Daisies from 1929 and the High Hatters. Okay, people, we've reached the point in the program where I am going to go back and ask you once again last week's trivia question. If someone can get with me in the comments here live, or at this point in the comments anywhere at all, you win the booby prize. Who's this?
Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits loop the loop. Gosh, oh gee, but I have fun swallowing animals one by one. In every bowl of soup I see lions and tigers watching me. I make them jump right through a hoop. Those animal crackers in my soup. When I get hold of the big bad wolf, I just push him under to drown. Since I bite him in a million bits, and I gobble him right down. Woo! When they're inside me where it's dark, I walk around like Noah's Ark. I stuff my tummy like a goose with animal crackers in my soup. Animal crackers in my soup do funny things to me. They make me think my neighborhood is a big menagerie. For instance, there's our janitor. His name is Mr. Klein. And when he hollers at us kids, he reminds me of a lion. Wow! The grocer is so big and fat and has a big mustache. He looks just like a walrus just before he takes a splash. He takes a splash. He takes a splash right in the zoop. Animal crackers in my soup. Monkeys and rabbits loop the loop. Gosh, oh gee, but I have fun swallowing animals one by one. In every bowl of soup I see lions and tigers watching me. I make them jump right through a hoop. Those animal crackers in my soup. When I get hold of the big bad wolf, I just push him under to drown. Then I bite him in a million bits, and I gobble him right down. Out, out. When they're inside me where it's dark, I walk around like Noah's Ark. I stuff my tummy like a goose with animal crackers in my soup.
Okay, fellow weirdos out there, who was singing that song?
That there song there, Bubber. Come on, you can do it, people. Tell me who it is.
Leave them alone, man. Maybe they just don't know it. They just don't know.
All right, well, if you don't know, you don't know. But can you choo-choo? Because I gotta hurry home, baby. And from 1926, Thick Lip Stomp, from one of my favorite artists from the 20s, Benny Moten. Thank you, Benny, for giving us my theme song. And before that, we heard Choo Choo, I Gotta Hurry Home, from Gene Austin in 1924. Well, I want to feel sheepish here, as it is time to end the program. It is 6 o'clock, and that means that it's time for me to hit the road. I gotta put a hitch in my get along and giddy up on down the road. I'm gonna grab some food and then head out to see the guys at Open Mic and Landers. And I just want to let you know to please hang around after my closing credits and hang around after my weekly programming, because I am going to bring you a rebroadcast of my father's slides from Vietnam. It being Memorial Day weekend, I figured it was appropriate. So here we go with the weekly programming, and I hope you enjoy this, because I enjoy making them. Holy hell, did that say Z-1? we're going to end the show that way, so there's no need to play that. Let's play some nighttime nonsense and nostalgia closing sequence. Here we go.
And I want y'all to have a good night, okay? Because
if you ain't having a good night, then you're having a bad night, and that sucks. Remember, it ain't over till it's over, okay? And it ain't over. So be sure to stay tuned for the next 15 minutes while we bring you a rebroadcast of my father's slides from Vietnam, 1967. Forgive me a second while I bring that video up. Be patient. My 100 subscribers, thank you so much. That is really, really awesome. As promised, here are the slides from my father's trip to Vietnam. Adios, people. Stay weird.
just the other day. My, you have grown. I cast my money back there, Lord. Sometime more, come think about it. Making love in the green grass behind the stadium with you. A brown-eyed girl. A girl, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la? thought